Hello guys, this is Malinki. Welcome back to my channel Voice of Malinki. So today we will discuss about the complement system part 3, that is the lectin pathway. And if you are new in my channel, please subscribe my channel, and if you like my video, please do like, comment and share my video. So let's start lectin pathway. So the complement system is a part of immune system that clears microbes and protects our healthy cells. So complement system is nothing but a part of the immune system that can clear the microbes, that destroy the microbes that have entered our body, so that microbes are destroyed by the complement system, and in this way complement system protects our body, protects our healthy cell. So this is the complement system. And complement system consists of 3 pathways. First one is the classical pathway, second one is the alternative pathway, and third one is the lectin pathway. So we are done with our first 2 pathways. Third one is the lectin pathway. And lectin pathway does not depend on antigen-antibody complex. So it is unlike the classical pathway. In case of classical pathway, we have seen the pathway depends on the formation of antigen-antibody complex. But in case of alternative pathway, we have seen the alternative pathway also does not depend on antigen-antibody complex. In this case, that is the lectin pathway, it is like alternative pathway and it also doesn't depend on antigen-antibody complex formation. As no antibody is required, the lectin pathway is a component of innate immune system, because we know that the innate immune system does not require any antibody, and here we don't require any antibody. So this lectin pathway is a component of innate immune system. Now mannose binding lectin or MBL. Mannose binding lectin or MBL is the main component of this pathway. So it is the main component of lectin pathway. So MBL is produced in inflammatory responses. So when a pathogen or a microbe attacks us, our body induces inflammation. So there is the inflammation that is occurring in our body. So after the inflammation, they produce some proteins. So among them, one is this mannose binding lectin. Okay, so this is the main component of this pathway. And MBL binds mannose residues on the surface of microbes. So MBL, that is the mannose binding lectin, it binds mannose residues that are found on the surface of microbe. So this is the cell surface of the microbe, and the cell surface of microbe contains mannose residues. Mannose are carbohydrate residue, right? These are the carbohydrates, right? And this MBL binds these mannose residues. And the lectin pathway is activated by binding of MBL to mannose residues on the surface of microorganisms. So when the MBL that is produced after the inflammation, it binds to this mannose on the cell surface of microbe, it will activate the lectin pathway. So in this way, lectin pathway gets activated. MBL has a protease activity. So it has a protease activity, that means it can cleave other proteins. It activates and cleaves C2 and C4 complex. And we are familiar with C2 and C4 proteins, right? Because in case of classical pathway also, we have seen C2 and C4. So again in lectin pathway, these complement proteins are coming their way. C2 and C4 are complement proteins. So MBL will act on C2 and C4. So C4 is cleaved into 2 fragments, C4A and C4B. That is, who will cleave them? So MBL will cleave them. So C4 is cleaved into 2 fragments, C4A and C4B, and C4B binds to the microbial surface, whereas C4A is released. So C4A will be released from the surface of membrane and C4B will bind to the microbial surface. Like that, C2 will be also cleaved into C2A and C2B. So C2 will be cleaved by the MBL also, and it will be cleaved into two fragments, C2A and C2B. So C2A binds to the C4B and C2B is released. So here you can understand this is the MBL and it has two substrates. One is C2, another is C4. So C4 is getting cleaved by the MBL and it will produce C2B and C2A. And C2B is getting released and C2A is there. In case of C4, it is also cleaved by MBL and it will form two fragments, C4B and C4A. So C4A is getting released and C4B will remain. So this C4B and C2A, they will combine to produce a complex that is C4B2A complex, right? And this complex is also a protease. So this is also a protease and this is known as C3 convertase. So this is also a protease and this is C3 convertase. That means it acts on C3. It converts C3. It activates C3, right? Okay. Now, what it will do, the C3 convertase, what it will do? So it activates C3 protein. So now the C3 protein will be activated by the C3 convertase. So C3 is the most abundant protein of the complement system that we know. Now C4B2A complex, that is the C3 convertase, it cleaves C3 into C3A and C3B. So C3 will be cleaved into two fragments. One is C3A, another is C3B. So C3A, what is C3A? So C3A is an anaphylatoxin. It is an anaphylatoxin. So what an anaphylatoxin does? So it goes and binds to the surface of basophil or mast cell, right? So here the basophil or mast cell will be there. Basophil or mast cell, and C3A will go and bind to this basophil or mast cell, and then they will induce them to release histamine. So now histamine will be released from these cells. So C3A is going to bind basophil or mast cell surface, and after the binding, C3A will induce those cells to release histamine, and histamine induces vasodilation. So what histamine does? Histamine induces vasodilation. So what is vasodilation? Vasodilation is a process where the blood vessels get wider. So the diameter of blood vessels are now higher, and they also increase capillary permeability. That means blood capillary are now permeable. So they permit the immune cells to cross the blood capillary and to enter the site of infection. That is the capillary permeability. Hence they promote inflammation, because we know both the vasodilation and increased capillary permeability, they promote inflammation. Now if you want to know more about inflammation and what is vasodilation and what is capillary permeability, please check the lecture regarding inflammation. So in that lecture I have explained these stuff very well. So therefore immune cells are capable of reaching the site of infection, because this is the function of inflammation. When inflammation is triggered, they will cause the immune cells to be reached at the site of infection, right? So immune cells are now at the site of infection. Okay. Now one more is C3b. So C3 is cleaved into two fragments. One is C3A and another is C3b. Now we know that C3A is an anaphylatoxin. Then what does C3b do? So C3b acts as an opsonin. It is an opsonin. That means it enhances phagocytic process, because we know that opsonins enhance phagocytic process, right? And C3b also binds another complement protein, that is C5. So C3b is not only the opsonin, it also binds another complement protein, that is C5 protein, and creates a conformational change. So suppose this is C5 and now this is C3b. So C3b binds C5, and when it binds C5, it creates the conformational change on this C5 protein. This conformational change is required that prepares C5 to be cleaved by the C4b C2a complex, that is C3 convertase. So we know that C3 convertase cleaves C3 complex, right? But not only C3 complex, but C3 convertase also cleaves C5. And to cleave C5 is required a conformational change, and that conformational change is brought about by C3b. Okay. Now C3 and C4b C2a complex is known as C5 convertase because they both are required to convert C5 or to activate C5. So both C3 and this complex are required. Hence they are known as C5 convertase. So C3 will create the conformational change on C5, and this complex, that is C4b C2a complex, this is the convertase, it will cleave C5. So both of them are now forming as C5 convertase. So C5 is now cleaved by C5 convertase, and it will be cleaved into two fragments, C5a and C5b. So here you can understand that the C5 is converted into C5a and C5b by the action of this. This is the C3 convertase, right? Okay. Next, C5 is cleaved into C5a and C5b. So what does C5a do? C5a is an anaphylatoxin. So it also acts in chemotaxis. So we know what an anaphylatoxin does. So it induces inflammation, and other than this, it also acts in chemotaxis. That means it attracts other immune cells at the site of infection. So we know what is the function of chemotaxis. Chemotaxis actually attracts some immune cells that are found in the body, in the various regions, various parts of the body, so that will be recruited at the site of infection. That is the function of chemotaxis, and C5a acts as the chemotaxis, and C5b, that was also produced after the cleavage of C5, it will contribute in the formation of membrane attack complex or MAC. So what is MAC? Okay, so C5b binds to C6, C7, C8 molecules. So these are some molecules, these are some complementary proteins. So C5b will bind to them, and then they create a macromolecular complex, that is C5b678 complex. And this complex is attached with the surface of microbes. So this complex will be attached with the surface of microbes, and this complex induces binding of C9 molecules to the cell surface. So when the C5b678 complex is attached with the surface of microbe, it will recruit number of C9 molecules to the cell surface, and then they will form C5b6789 complex, and that complex is known as MAC, that is membrane attack complex. Now why this is named so, that is membrane attack complex? Because this creates a pore in the pathogen surface that feeds the fluids into the cell, and that leads to osmotic lysis of the microbe. So let's understand it from here. So this is the bacterial cell membrane. This is the bacterial cell membrane, and here they are forming the macromolecular complex. So first is the C5b. So C5b is now coming to attach this plasma membrane. Then C6 will come, C7 will come, C8 will come. Okay, and then number of C9 molecules will be attached with this. So they all will form the MAC or membrane attack complex. Now they are forming the pore. They are forming the pore here. This is the pore, or you can say this is the channel. When the pore or channel is formed in the bacterial cell surface or any type of microbial cell surface, water will enter from outside the cell to inside the cell cytoplasm. So now water is there inside the cell, and when the concentration of water is very high inside the cell cytoplasm, it will induce the cell to burst. So the cell now will burst and the cell lysis will occur. So the osmotic lysis or cell lysis will be occurred, and after that the microbe will be killed, right? So in this way, the complementary proteins, they act on the microbes and kill them. So this is the pathway of lectin pathway, and this is the way that they work.